Hello Taurus, this is Victoria and I'm here with your December tarot forecast. Hope you guys are doing great. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance on how to best utilize the energies of the month of December. At the end, I'll pull some messages from your person of interest to yourself. So stick around for that. And of course, I will begin with a quick oracle message. Today it's going to be the Angels and Ancestors deck, so let's start with that, see where it takes us. If you're watching this for your sun sign, please check out videos for your moon and rising placements as well, because these readings are for all three. All right, got the snake. Wow, Taurus. Shed the old skin. Yeah, very interesting, right? Numerologists talk about the year of 2025 as year number 9. It is also the year of the snake. So it's a very interesting mixture of energies, but any and all of them are about the closure of a cycle and transforming into something else, right? And you can interpret it in a gazillion different ways, the nuances of it, right? Like what does it actually mean? What is the snake? What is the number 9? The next year is going to be 1. So that's why we're talking about this as the end of a cycle, end of a road. And no matter how you see these changes as positive or negative, remember, this is our subjective perspective, right? But no matter how you see them, it's important to honor them. It's important to trust that even if you don't fully understand why you attracted certain events, people, and situations, that they were for your benefit. They were supposed to show you something. They were supposed to highlight something for you. And, you know, maybe you don't need to figure it all out right away. Oftentimes we need a series of events to happen to be able to then retrospect on all of them. Okay, now I see the full picture. Now it makes sense. And then again, it may change completely that perspective sometime in the future. And it's also fine. You don't need to know all the answers and have all the details figured out. But there's a lot of power in trusting that, you know, whatever happened needed to happen, whoever needed to leave your life have left your life, and now you can leave that in the past. Taurus is a fixed sign, so sometimes there could be a feeling of, like, you know, attachment towards what is familiar, what I've already built. You know, I've spent all this time invested into this, creating this. I don't want to leave this behind. I don't just want to give up on all that effort and love that I poured into it. But if it leaves your life, it just means that there's something a lot better on the horizon, right? That you've graduated from this level and it's time to shed the old skin and move on to something bigger and better. Let's see what we have for you as tarot. If you're new, please check out the description box for more info on my content and my services. And of course, for all of you guys, I appreciate your likes. They mean a lot. So please hit that like button, leave me a comment, share it with others. It's an auspicious time of year. I did record the full moon reading, by the way. I just had the full moon in Gemini just a couple of days ago, but there were some technical issues, so I couldn't publish it the way that it recorded. So I was thinking of maybe doing another one, but then it didn't feel right, so I just went with it. But what we are gonna have this coming week is the 12th of Portal, so I'm definitely gonna be doing a special reading for that. And I'm thinking, because I didn't publish the full moon reading, I might actually do like the message for each zodiac sign for the 12th of Portal, especially since we are approaching New Year. Why not? If you want me to do 2026 forecast, let me know in the comments somewhere, in the email, so I prepare for it. I don't see that they're super popular, at least not on my channel, but if you think that that would be beneficial, then it will be a little bit of a different spread. And of course the focus is going to be on the year, right? Like the trend of the year. If you want me to do that level of horoscope for each sign, let me know. All right, for your personal space and love life, you have the Chariot, starting strong. It's a chariot, which is about movement, but it's also a snail. very interesting. But if you think about it, the Chariot card in their classical tarot deck is also has like those stone lions, you know, that aren't really moving if you think about it, and they're moving in different directions. There are two of them, and they're like looking in different directions. We have Seven of Swords, but in any case, Chariot is a Cancer energy, so it could be done as a Cancer, and Ace of Swords here. I'll speak on all of this in a moment. Then for your career space, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. This is Sagittarius energy. Very like Christmas, New Year, holiday vibe, you know, anything can happen, kind of a miracle expectation vibe. Six of Swords and Four of Swords. I like this. And then the advice, we have the Tower. This is Aries energy. We have Seven of Cups. And we have the Sun. Yay, look at that. Beautiful, the happiest card in the deck. This is Leo energy. We'll get to that too. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords. Have you been over-analyzing? Have you been trying to plan the future and it's been failing you, your plan, I mean? Have you noticed that something that you seem to have a handle on, to be in control of now, somehow isn't? And the moment you think that you got it, something happens and you realize that you don't, right? It's a bit of a laughter from the universe and like trying to be whimsical with you and show you that, you know, you don't need to plan for every contingency. You don't need to like put all those like pillows around you, you know, like not to take a fall or something like that. It's part of the beauty of life to experience, you know, the surprise in the moment. And again, being a Taurus myself, I'm not very great with surprises. I mean, of course, I like good surprises when somebody has prepared, you know, a gift for me, or a surprise like you know, some kind of event where you're going on adventure or something. That for the most part is great, but life throws us all kinds of surprises that for me personally, I'm not great at like processing it on the fly and being spontaneous and coming up with like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, let's do this then, or let's, I mean, I do that, but it's still, there is a little bit of that lag in time, right? And during that time, my mind gets frozen because that's my reaction to something that I didn't expect. It's like instead of a fight or flight response, I have the freeze response. And that could be uncomfortable, yes. So for your personal and space and love life, you have, almost said Cancer, you have the Chariot, you have Seven of Swords, and you have Ace of Swords. You know what? I feel like with these cards, the moment you start seeing the truth and realizing what really matters, not what you were taught is important, not what was important in your family, but what is important to you in your life, in your space, was the level of consciousness that you were at. The easier and the clearer the path gets. And yeah, it may feel like, wow, but I'm like so moving so slowly. The important part is direction. Chariot is more than anything about choosing direction, right? Doing it, due diligence, like doing your homework, or, you know, trusting your intuition, but choosing the right direction. It's going to be a lot worse if you move quickly, but in the wrong direction, because there will be a much bigger detour if you think about it that way. Right, so yeah, maybe you're taking baby steps. Maybe on the surface, it doesn't seem like the change is quick enough, or you don't see the results that you want to see yet. But trust, and this is a confirmation, trust that the important part is that you are reframing your old patterns and you're seeing things as they are, more clearly, more truthfully. You're seeing yourself more truthfully. And that's the reason to be on this path and move with this pace. You couldn't do it otherwise. I don't see anything here about your person. But as I always say, you know, if whatever impacts your personal space, of course, impacts your relationships, whether it's romantic or otherwise. And it may be intimidating to people around you if you're suddenly choosing new direction, so you're doing something that doesn't make sense for them. But it's very important. That's something that I'm working on too in this phase in my life still. Even like years after, for instance, I decided to leave my corporate career behind to start doing something that doesn't seem either doesn't seem to make sense financially to people, or they don't actually trust it, right? They have different belief system, and for them this is nonsense, even like what I'm doing right now, right? Like it's been years and I'm still working through the layers of, you know, people not understanding the decisions that I'm making in my life and why. Because on paper it doesn't make sense to them, but it makes sense to me, and that's what's important, right? But it takes a lot of strength to respect that Ace of Swords truth within you that may seem like Seven of Swords to people around you. All right, for the career space, you have the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Swords first. I love this so much. I mean, all these cards are great, honestly, and it's not about grinding at something, it's not about discovery, it's not about making big plans, as you can see. At least in December, you need to give yourself a break. You need to rest, you need to get back to your peace, to take a look from, you know, the eagle's eye view of what you've achieved and what you've been through this year, what has been on your path, how magical that was, and just trust the process. And we started with that, you know, with that snake card, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but it's very important to trust that the timing is divine, it's in alignment, and your priority, if anything, or your task in all of this is taking care of yourself, being at your best energy, you know, being curious and being very conscious of and mindful of what's going on with you and around you during this journey. Regardless of whether it means that you're completely changing your career, or maybe you even decided to take a break from work, especially with the market that we're in, or maybe you're trying to find work but nothing is working. Like whatever that dynamic is, it's important to trust that everything is unfolding the way it's supposed to. I'm actually looking at some new projects, and recently I was doing negotiation with this company for like good 2 months, maybe more than that, which is a lot of time, especially in the current day and age where we want quick conversations, quick decisions, right? Maybe giving ourselves some testing time, but like starting to work together to see how it works rather than having 10 different conversations and still figuring it out. And at the end, the person, like the other side, I was kind of starting to get more bought into it, although we both knew we have our differences. And then the other person said, no, you know what, I don't want to do this now with you. And yeah, it took time to like reflect and accept that, you know, that wasn't meant to be for me, right? And I knew that deep down, right? It's just like, it still seemed to be such a great opportunity, but I wouldn't feel good in it. It wouldn't feel right. For your advice, you have the Tower, Seven of Cups, and the Sun. So there's been a lot of destruction of all structures, and again, we talked about it with the snake card. This is another interpretation of it, when there was a wrecking ball to like what was, and now you need to build from scratch. But it's very important that you're not building with the same mindset that you had before, because it's not going to be successful. And it's not even that you can go back to where you were. You're not in that energy anymore, so it's just not ever, you won't be able to build at all, right? You need to look at it from like, you know, sky's the limit kind of pattern, or what are my childhood dreams, right? What would I be doing now in like this perfect dream of mine? And I don't just mean dream as a wish, but dream as a kind of like dream state, right? So embrace this energy of joy and fun, and even surprise, by the way, because they are connected. Whatever it means for you, especially now since it's holiday season, there's so many more opportunities to treat yourself, to spend time with loved ones, to do something fun, go on adventure, see Christmas lights, different shows, like whatever it takes. Maybe if you have snow, do some snow activities. That is, at least for people who grew up with the snow, a lot of times that brings them back to that carefree time, you know, when they were kids. It's very important. And yes, in this deck, the Sun card also has this bird that is black, and it covers most of the person's face and at least one of their eyes. So it's like there's still something that is spoiling the moment, but don't worry about it too much. You're in the process of healing, you're in the process of reframing your perspective, so there's nothing wrong with that. but it's important to keep adding to it, you know, like on a regular basis, consistency, so that your mind gradually feels safe in the new reality. Because for a while it doesn't feel safe, right? And it's a problem for any person, it's not just for Taurus. Okay, let's see what the message from your person of interest is. There's something here. Four of Swords again. Okay, clarified by Five of Swords. Oof. 4, 5, and Hermit. Yeah, so your person definitely wants you to have a break, to have some fun, to rest more than anything else. And yeah, they want to rest with you. But they also will respect if you need some time to yourself, because they know that, you know, sometimes that's the only way for you to really have rest and not worry about everyone around you, not be super nurturing and caring and like not even running around people, but you know, spending a lot of energy making it good for others, right? They want this experience to be for you. They don't want you to fool yourself that you don't need rest, that you're doing just fine, that you're brilliant and juggling all of these different things that are going on in your life. They know, your person knows that you're brilliant at doing all that, but right now they want you to put that put that aside and focus on what brings that feeling of love and hug and cuddle to you, whether it involves other people or not, because we also have Hermit here. So it's like it's almost like this spa weekend experience, right? Where you're indulging yourself, your senses in different experiences. And that's definitely up the Taurus alley to indulge in the senses. Okay, with all that said, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and until next time, bye.